Before we get started today's video, I just wanted to say, man, look, don't let one bad day determine the rest of your week, the rest of your month, or the rest of your year. Stuff happens, especially that you can't control. I know this sounds so cliche, so everybody saying this, but find your safe haven, man. Find your crew, your people, that you can rock with, confide into. Cause one bad day don't determine, you know, a week's worth of stuff, a month worth of stuff, 3 months worth of stuff, 6 months, so on and so forth. And if you don't genuinely have somebody, I mean, you can always reach out to me. That's what, the Taylor Familia is for, with community. If you just ever need somebody to talk to, you can hit me on any social media platform, of course, or just comment in the comment section. We'll talk, chop it up. But let's get into today's video. Okay, in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite devil fruits, the Ope Ope no Mi. The person who uses this fruit, of course, we all know him. We all love him. He's a female favorite, and every guy loves this man. Trafalgar D water law. Now, me personally, I already off the gate feel like this is a broken devil fruit. And for the devil fruit alone, it has a bounty of itself, which is worth 5 billion. More than Whitebeard, Shanks, Luffy, and Blackbeard's bounty, not combined, but more than their bounty separately. Now, a devil fruit alone, wanted by the world government to be 5 billion berries itself, that speaks volumes in itself. And I'm going to tell you why. And I feel like, and we all should know why we feel like it's worth 5 billion. But let's, break down some of the mechs of the Ope Ope no Mi, devil fruit. So to put it plainly, of course, if you've watched One Piece or seen One Piece, that you've seen some of Law's feats and whatnot. Let's just break down what the ROOM does. It's blue like spear that pretty much makes, Law a god, a deity in his own right, in his, own space when he activates that spear. When he activates ROOM, he can, cut you any way he wants to. He can swap your heart. Well, he can take your heart and he can swap your soul into another person. I mean, he's literally a god in his own, room. Of course, that's what he called it. He's literally the surgeon of death. Honestly, when he uses his room. But if you just sit here and think about it, to literally be able to, swap your soul and, pretty much discombobulate you. I mean, in so many words, he can slice you up and, rearrange your body parts and all that good stuff. I mean, you've seen, I'll, of course, put some of the feats in here. And it's just crazy. Like, that's just a broken devil fruit to me. And honestly, that is really a broken devil fruit. And of course, we're going to get into the drawbacks of that fruit. But if you just sit here and think about it, ROOM is already broken. And then when we finally get to a point where he has already got his awakening, I mean, KROOM and ROOM, those make it even more broken. But what KROOM is, of course, is him, putting the blue spear ROOM on an object, which of course he uses his sword to coat his sword in ROOM, which of course we call KROOM. And now Instead of, you know, him just being a whole deity in just his room, he makes his sword the deity. Of course, we've seen him, you know, impale Big Mom and use Shock Willie and amputate on her. And hey, that mug do some damage now. It do some serious damage. Cause Big Mom barely could get back up. She stayed up for the count. But of course, you know, it's a powerful attack, but to me it's not a full-hearted finisher, given if you have enough, you know, resistance and durability. It's not a one kill shot kind of move. But you know, he's also used it on Blackbeard. And you know, Blackbeard unexpectedly, of course, his body can take a lot of damage. But when he got, you know, impaled with KROOM, you seen the effects it caused and done to him. And of course, you know, Law's getting a lot more efficient with his awakening. You know, he can pretty much ROOM, of course, that's another awakening. He can, you know, open the room. Literally, if you're a good distance away, he can open it to where you at and make you the center of that room. And hey, like I said, he a god in his own right. Me personally, he's a god in his own show. Because for him to be able to, you know, pretty much defy and break the laws of biology, space, and you know, transmigration. I mean, Law is a broken. His devil fruit is broken. We all know his devil fruit is broken. But of course, we're going to get into, you know, the downside of his devil fruits. His devil fruit, of course, it taxes his stamina if he's constantly using so many rooms, and you know, it drains his stamina tremendously. He can't. It ain't just a, you know, continuous power that he can just use. Not saying that he's limited, but you know, he's limited if he doesn't, you know, use it strategically in his battles. As seen when he fought Doflamingo and with Kaido, and you know, well, I honestly feel like he did a very good job with Kaido, but with Doflamingo, Blackbeard, you know, you shown where his stamina kind of was stagnant, and you know, but he still held on. And also, of course, that's one of the, you know, drawbacks. And of course, there's another drawback. I wouldn't necessarily. It is a drawback if you think about it, but you know, using the Devil Fruit's ultimate power, which is the perpetual, you know, eternal youth, which, you know, you basically become immortal if, you know, freezes the clock time of you aging and shit. And honestly, you lose your life when you perform this operation, which I don't see Law using that no time soon or at all, to be honest with you. So I can't necessarily say it's a drawback, but it is a drawback. Me personally, that devil fruit is broken like a mug, but you will have to use that perpetual, you know, eternal youth on somebody you really care about or want to save and protect and see, you know, live that long, I guess. Which is why I feel like the world government made it a 5 billion berry, because if you think about it, Emu probably used that fruit. Well, Emu made somebody use that fruit to keep him forever living, and possibly the, you know, well, I can't say the Gorosei, but because they power probably come from Emu. But, you know, I feel like it was used on emu. And, you know, that's another theory. We'll have to, you know, break that down. But I can understand personally why the world government would want that devil fruit and made it a 5 billion, you know, berry amount. Because the endless possibilities of them making certain higher ups, of course, immortal. That is a devil fruit I would want too. That's probably the main devil fruit I would want. Granted, what it's all capable of if you don't use the, you know, perpetual youth. But other than that, I really want to pose this question to you guys. What do you guys think would have happened if Blackbeard would have actually got his hands on that devil fruit? That's what I want to know. What do you guys think he would have did? So comment down below, man. But like I always say, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe so the Taylor Familia can keep growing and we can keep making videos and content so you guys can enjoy. I love you guys. Peace.